Binance, big old crypto exchange, largest in the world by trading volume, is reportedly looking to return to Japan. Now, this is according to sources. A lot of no comments, a lot of hush hush here in this article. But according to sources, Binance wants back in, and this is something that we've been seeing increasingly over the last year or so, most notably with FTX and its acquisition of Liquid, establishing an FTX footprint in Japan. Now, Japan has been historically a bit cautious with crypto exchanges because if you remember, Mt. Gox was based in Japan, and that was a really bad exchange hack way back when. And I think that has informed Japanese regulators ever since to be a bit more cautious in terms of licensing crypto exchanges. So if Binance does indeed win a license to operate in Japan, that's potentially really big. But I wanted to talk about this and other things as it relates to the Japanese crypto market. And I am going to throw to Wendy. Wendy, what do you got?
I actually really think that I like Binance a lot more these days. I feel like during the bull market, they got attacked consistently. Like if you've read a lot of the headlines, they got attacked. Basically, people were fining them, people were fighting them, saying awful, terrible things. But Binance is still number one in volume. They're doing a lot of business, and it seems that they are really working hard these days to do things as legally and ethically as possible. Yes, there are some sketch things that did happen in the past, but I feel like that is with most crypto companies. But I like Binance. I like what they're doing, and I hope that they continue to have presence in every single country. Jen?
Yeah, Binance has really weathered many a storm, and it's been great to follow along their journey, through this show and reading the stories in the news. Japan's prime minister is looking for a solution, it said in the article, to the slowed growth in the country, and that comes with lax crypto and NFT taxes, and they want to attract crypto talent to the region. So I really think Binance is looking at this as an opportunity to get back into the region. It will be interesting though, Wendy, like you said, still the largest exchange by volume, but FTX and Crypto.com have a foothold in Japan already. And so it will be interesting to see if they get the license and what their plan is to compete there. But I do think that Binance has done a really good job at weathering the storm. I think they've learned a lot of lessons when it comes to regulatory compliance across many different jurisdictions, and they're ready to apply what they learned. Will, what do you think?
We're just shilling Binance this morning, but it's probably for good reason. They've been doing some good work, to be honest, and expanding different jurisdictions. The biggest story, honestly, comes after July, their new policy of implementing zero fees for most trading pairs, things like 13 or 14 trading pairs. And that has increased their volumes compared to a lot of different exchanges. Kaiko, which is a great data aggregator out there, ran a nice newsletter 2 weeks ago about this, talking about how Binance's volumes have actually increased since July, while the rest of exchanges have decreased. And you expect going to bear market that everybody would decrease, but Binance is actually cleaning up because it has this no trading fee for most major pairs. So like if you want to buy Bitcoin with Tether, you don't have to pay a trading fee. People really care about that, so they're going to go to Binance. If Binance can keep operating on that sort of level, economies of scale and efficiency that others can't compete with, and then they crack open new markets like this, I really don't see how they don't start putting their entire footprint on the international market and kill off everyone else. I think it's important to note here that we have Binance trying to open up Japan right now. It has toeholds or even just like complete market operations in different countries like India, Malaysia, Thailand. At the same time, Coinbase is here in the United States fighting against the SEC with two hands behind his back, right? So we have very different market dynamics here if we're looking at exchanges, and it's going to be a tough fight, I think, for anyone who's US-based predominantly. Zach, over to you.
Yeah, let's not forget, Japan is the world's third largest economy, right? So this is a big place in terms of GDP. And I think if the loosening of some restrictions on the exchange space specifically, that's potentially really interesting to watch unfold. Surprisingly, I mean, Japan has been kind of quiet in the crypto scene for the last, 5 years at least, right? You kind of hear about Singapore, you heard about Hong Kong, you hear about some of these emerging markets in the Far East, but often sort of Tokyo and Japan itself are left out of that conversation. So if some of these foundational things can get established with a bit more volume relative to what had been previously issued in terms of licensing, it'd be interesting to see if sort of Japan can really take the prize of being the preeminent crypto market in the Far East, because I think like that is somehow not yet materialized, probably just because regulators have been gun shy over some big time hacks in the past. But I don't know. That's maybe the bigger picture. Wendy, any last thoughts on this one before we change gears?
I'm just actually excited to see who's going to come out on top. And I think with Binance trying to operate back in Japan again, I think it's going to bring a lot of positive competition. I am somebody who really believes in positive competition for expanding economies and for creating better products. So I'm curious to see who's going to come out on top. I'm curious to see the tactic that they use to come out on top and directly compete with the other similar services offered there.